7:01, and I am glad to be up and have this show today because, no, the volume, that big knob, there you go, a little bit, just only. Thank you very much. Anyway, this is a really good show. This is one of those shows I have just every couple of months where we have Dr. Jeremy Webster here, who's here right now, and also Tina Burnett, best trainer that I know and would trust with myself or anybody I would send to her for training. And you've heard them on the show many times before, and if you've not, this show is what we call the All About You show. This is a show where we don't have a topic, and all three of us like this because we come in, we don't prepare. The show is all about you. So if you have any questions, any concerns about your health and fitness, maybe you're training with a trainer who's not giving you the advice that you'd like, that's helping you, or you're confused about what you've read, you've seen on TV. The holidays are coming up. Do you have the pre-fat holiday concerns? The pre-fat, because you say, well, George, you're making it sound like it's inevitable that we're going to gain fat. The masses do. So this is that show. And if you have any questions or comments today, well, hopefully you do, because we have no topic. So you have to call us. You're the topic. 214-787-1310 or pound 1310 on your wireless. If you're in Finland again and outside of the United States, you want to call toll free, you can call 866-528-1310. One of the things I said to you, Tina, was it was a concern for some people, or it's a concern for many people when they're working out. They don't have the motivation anymore. So if you don't have a goal, you tend to get bored and you don't work out either as hard or as often. If you don't have the excitement for your routine, you've got to change up the routine. But if you don't know how to change the routine, you don't have the money for a trainer, you can listen to a show like this, which you can give advice coming up next. And I want you to share with people ways that they can change the routine if they're stuck in a rut. So maybe you don't have to change the exercises because we don't know what they're doing, unless they interact with us, but maybe you can change the way you're using the exercise. So maybe it's heavier, or maybe it's more reps. Maybe it's faster, maybe it's slower. Maybe it's in the gym, maybe it's outside of the gym, and it's doing something if you're a mother and you're able to do something while you're pushing your baby around at the park. Let's give all different examples. One of the things I want to ask both of you, and we'll do this coming up here a little bit later, is do you get frustrated when someone asks your advice and you tell them for free? So you're outside of the office, and you tell them for free, and then they throw it back in your face. But I read this, or my doctor said that, or they don't listen to you, but hold on, that's not the easy button. How do we get around that? What do we do? Can we help these people? So the topic is you today. It's not us. We don't have a topic, so just throwing a few things out. Call us 214-787-1310, pound 1310 on your wireless, or outside of the listening area is toll-free 866-528-1310. 704 Sports Radio 1310, The Ticket. Well, 712 Sports Radio 1310, The Ticket. George D. John, Train Station Fitness Show. This is the All About You show. I gave the toll-free number out incorrectly earlier. It's 877-528-1310. 877-528-1310. You have any questions or comments about your fitness program, your health, your progress, or if you're not progressing and you're trying to, you've hired a professional, you've hired a nutritionist, a doctor, a chiropractor, a personal trainer, and you're not progressing in the direction that you like for your intended goal. Give us a call today. I have Dr. Jeremy Webster in the studio. He's been on the show before many times. If you've not heard him and you're a new listener, he's a chiropractor, he's a nutritionist, and he will certainly set you in the right direction. He's got the proper testing to tell you why you should not be taking a supplement blindly. Are you taking a supplement because your friend's taking it? Are you taking it because it's got some great marketing to it? It's got great colors. You pick it up and it says it's 4 times stronger than testosterone. It'll make you lose 15 pounds in a half hour or some crap like that. He'll tell you why it's not a good idea to do. Also, Tina Burnett is in the studio. She is a personal trainer, one of the best. I recommend her highly, and I would trust her with my fitness if I knew nothing.
George, I'd love to get some thyroid questions today.
Thyroid questions?
I have a fact. 90% of all hypothyroid cases are from one single cause.
Well, hold on. What the hell is hypothyroid?
Low thyroid.
Right. Well, you have hypo and herper, herper. You have herper and hamper. So it's low thyroid. But how many people...
90% are by one cause that is not tested by almost any doctor.
How many people do you think blame being over fat, blame it on hypothyroid?
Most.
All of them.
How many of those people do you think are blaming it on hypothyroid or a genetic condition because their mother and or father is fat?
Most also.
Right?
Yeah.
And then the stats say that 1% of all people who are over fat are that way because of a genetic predisposition. 1%. Now, the people who are over fat that are listening right now are probably all saying, that's me. I've tried everything. I've tried this diet. I've tried that diet. I've done 17,000 different diets, and I've worked out, and it doesn't come off. What do we know about people who are a certain weight? And I'll lead this with Tina first. When you are a certain weight for a long period of time, changing that weight. So if you're a skinny guy and you want to get bigger muscles, or if you have 100 pounds to lose and you want to get really thin, what happens when you've been that way for a long time first and then you want to make a change?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it is you've kind of feel like that's just the way you are. You're always, it's kind of like that set point theory. You're you're at that weight, and I think it's so much of it's so mental. It's just that they have in their head that this is just the way they are, and it's almost like it blocks their body from the way they think, blocks their body's ability to really change. I think there's a chemical response that goes on with thinking, oh, I'll never lose weight. But then if they do, you know, they get down to that weight, if they can get the weight off, you know, then they get there, and I think a lot of people aren't used to it, and they're used to being a different way, and they end up putting it back on. They can't maintain it.
Which goes along with what I was about to say, that people often think, okay, let's say somebody has 30 pounds to lose, and they lose 15 pounds. They often, instead of going further to lose the extra 15 pounds, they often think, and I've asked over fat people this, that I was close enough to be intimately involved to ask these questions without offending them. They often feel that, hey, I've lost 15 pounds. I can go eat X, Y, and Z now because I have this extra room.
Right.
And they become
and then they put it back on.
Yeah.
Right.
They become comfortable at that weight, whether they're too skinny or too fat, either way. It becomes comfortable to their body. And if you want to make a change and you need to make a change, you have to be consistent with it, and you have to just be diligent and maintain that proper weight for you for a long time. And eventually your body will get used to that, and you'll become comfortable at a more healthy weight.
Then how many times we said you put in 50% of the effort, you can't expect 100% of the results, otherwise go see Freud.
I don't know what that means.
Who's Freud? Who's Freud?
The crazy doctor who's dead.
Oh. Okay.
Psychologist or psychiatrist?
Yeah.
Probably psychiatrist.
Am I alone in this one?
No, I'm with you.
I'm like, I know I got smart people in this room.
Well, but here's
I know who Freud is.
well, I think it's when you mentioned being comfortable. I think people do not, and this is like been my mantra with clients, is that you have to move out of your comfort zone if you want to seek change. You have to. Most people are not good at that. That's why they want the quick pill or the quick fix, or they want to have this book, this diet, or whatever. And, you know, they want the easy way out. And, you know, you have to work hard to get weight off. I mean, bottom line.
Do you remember this? I don't know if you ever experienced this, Tina, when you were younger and you saw the guys taking steroids in high school, and there were guys that took it even outside of high school that weren't working out and became fat. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
That's really weird. There are guys who take testosterone that think all of a sudden they're going to gain muscle and change, not realizing that when you take it, forget about the cascade of events that happen where you're screwing yourself up. Let's look at how it makes you more hungry. And if you're not exercising, you're going to put on fat. It doesn't make you all of a sudden ripped and big, and all that other stuff can make you fat. And I've seen that happen with one guy. And that was when I was, 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how much more muscle you would gain if you just did that. If you just did
and didn't change your eating
and didn't work out. I mean, you're going to gain some muscle, because it does
right.
increase protein synthesis, but
certainly. But when you're eating ice cream and everything that you think you can eat, it's like we mentioned last week on the show when Dr. James Carlson was on. He talked about every single vegan he ever had in his office, medical doctor, every vegan he's ever had in his office was unhealthy. And I made a statement that I said once before that most vegetarians are fat and they think they can eat everything they want. And I said, I got beaten up through email by people saying, well, you don't know what you're talking about, blah, 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 blah. And I wrote the person back and said, do you have 15 pounds or more of fat to lose? Well, that's besides the point. No, it's not.
Exactly.
Just because you're a vegan doesn't mean you can eat whatever you want. Doesn't mean you're healthy either. So we have this mentality of what we think we need. Mm-hmm. So Tina's a personal trainer. Let's do something different. I'll use me because I'm a man. A female asks me what she should do for her body. I give her a suggestion or several suggestions. She decides to tell me, well, that's not how my body is. Mm-hmm. She thinks I don't know her body. How many times have you gotten that resistance in either one of your professions, And it's like, I charge $300 just for someone to sit with me. You asked me questions. I gave you information for free. Now you're going to resist me?
Yeah, I've gotten that so many times. They come to you. It'd be like hiring an attorney and then telling him how to do your, take care of your case. I mean, it's the same thing.
Or going to an attorney, you see him out at a party somewhere, and you ask questions, they give you the information for free, and you decide not to take it and use it or resist it.
Right.
Okay, then give me money so you have the perceived value, and don't ask me and I won't care about the result.
And I know trainers, and just speaking from my own experience, I know trainers that will let their clients tell them how they want them to train them, and they just do that.
My.
And I'm like, okay.
Well, that's for the money, obviously.
Well, exactly. But my point is, and that's a great point to bring up is, a good trainer is someone that's going to tell you how it needs to be done. And if you're not going to listen to that, and you want to do your own thing, then continue to, stay fat and not get results, because that's what's going to happen.
People need to realize this is our profession.
Put it plainly.
This is what we do for a living.
Yeah.
This is what we're trained in.
Yeah, but somebody can say, Webster, someone can say, well, my personal trainer's a professional also, and this is what I'm trained in, and they're telling me this. Well, you know what? Then keep using them. I think in an empowering and an encouraging way, or a suggestive and empowering way to get through to somebody is, do you like your results?
Yeah.
Because the thought is, if you like your results, you wouldn't ask me, us.
Right? Are you even getting results? Is
right.
what how's that working for you?
Yeah, how's that working for you? And by the way, we'll change Freud to Dr. Phil. Does everybody know Dr. Phil? Is that okay? All right, this is the All About You show. We're really just talking about nonsense. It's actually not nonsense. We could talk all day. But we want to hear from you. 214-787-1310, pound 1310 on your cell phone. Or if you're outside of the listening area, 877-528-1310, because we don't have a topic today. We're just talking. If you want to change the direction of the show for your needs, for your desires, give us a call today. Pre-fat loss or pre-fat gaining, either way, no matter how you look at it, holiday concerns. There's one coming up, and it's not even a holiday, but we celebrated Halloween.
That's a healthy holiday.
Yeah, right?
Candy corn.
So, oh my God. So if you have a child, the child, you take them through the routine because you want them to be a child. Understood. But do you have some type of structure? And you guys being parents, I want you to share with us. Number one, I feel, no matter how healthy we are, don't deprive the child of the experience. Take them trick-or-treating. But is there some type of structure you have in your house where when they come home with barrels full of candy, do you give it away to somebody else and just have them keep a portion? Do you throw it all away and just have them keep the whatever else they get? Do people even give tricks anymore?
An apple.
No, no, you give an apple. If somebody gives my son an apple, I'm reporting
going in the trash.
Yeah. That's just the end of that. There's a needle in there. There's some type of drugs. Ain't happening. Why hasn't my son gone to sleep for 5 days? I don't know. So, do you guys have a structure?
I let my kids kind of pick out their favorite candy, and like the night of Halloween, of course, they're just wanting to shovel it down, and I give them a limit of a certain number of pieces, and then the rest of it goes in the trash.
Dave, there's nothing on my board, so you got to tell me.
Okay, I didn't know.
Tell them, what do we got?
We got 3 calls.
3 calls. Oh, well, I'm sorry about that, guys. Who's up first?
Robin.
Robin, you are on the ticket. Go ahead.
Oh, hi. I have a question about pregnancy and exercise. I'm about 4 months pregnant, and I'm just wondering, before I was pregnant, I was super active, taking care of myself nutritionally, and I tended to go into the gym and just work my butt off. So now I feel like I've had to kind of take a couple steps back with the pregnancy, and I just wonder what your opinions are on how much exercise is safe, what kinds of exercises are safe for a pregnant woman, especially one who's already been active up until pregnancy.
Well, let's go ahead and let Tina answer that. Go ahead, T.
Well, I've had 3 kids, and so you said you were active before, right?
Yes.
Okay. The main thing is if you were active before, you can keep working out. In fact, I'm training a girl right now that's with her 3rd pregnancy, and I was training her before she got pregnant, and we just continued to train, and she's around the same as you, like she's doing in January. And what basically you can keep, you do have to watch your heart rate. You don't want to be doing any high intensity burst training like we talk about, but I highly recommend you continue weight training, continue doing cardiovascular work. You could still do some, like even with her, sometimes we'll do some little minute-long bursts or sprint on a cycle or something and get her heart rate up, and then we'll do the strength training and a lot of functional hip stability work. There's no reason you can't work out every single day. Do a lot of walking. Walking's great. I walked a lot when I was pregnant, and continue to do it. You're going to have days when you don't feel good because of being tired and the nausea. If you're having, you may be all through that now, but keep it up, because it'll make such a difference after you have your baby, as far as how quickly you come back.
Robin, I have a question for you. When you're doing strength training, you said, right?
Yes.
You having any issues, any pain in your hips?
No, not currently. I really have taken a step back, like I was saying, from the strength training, because from what I read, and my doctor seemed to think it was okay for me to continue, but I was not afraid to lift heavy weights, do squats, lunges, all of that stuff before I got pregnant, and I'm still not afraid to do those things. I've just kind of lightened the weight a lot, so I haven't experienced necessarily any pain or anything. I just know from what I've read and a little bit of experience that my balance isn't as great.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not that big yet, but that seems to be something that I guess I'm adding weight to my belly a little, and so my balance has never been great. But that's what I'm having some problems with.
Well, you don't need to go heavy. Keep your reps higher. Just lighten all the other weights up, 15 to even 20 reps on stuff, and you could even do some body weight things. You could do lunges with a medicine ball, or just do some. Keep doing it, but watch. Your joints are become lax. What's the word? Lax, and.
Yeah.
Because and your hips are going to start to spread. They already have, and that's one thing I found out is after 3 pregnancies, my ligaments and your ligaments in your pelvic area, all this, they stretch out and they don't really go back. And I have a lot of joint mobility, which is not good. Too much in my pelvis, so that's why I recommend doing some functional hip stability work, adductor work, hip internal, external rotations.
But that doesn't mean to be on those goofy hip ab and ad machines.
No.
Never, ever do those, okay?
No, I don't do this.
I will say this, that what I'd like for you to do, I'm going to give Tina's number out toward the end of the show, and Dr. Webster, I want you to get in touch with Tina, even if you just use her one time, because this is too much to say for one person on the air. But, one of the things you talked about is you use high reps. Well, if you don't get anything out of using the high reps and you just barely feel a burn, you're not going to get as much out of it as you want. However, what's the stopping point? You don't want to go too far either with the issue with joints. And I know Tina can certainly help you and guide you in that respect. You would never know Tina had even one child versus 3, but it shows up still. She feels the weakness in her hips. So I encourage you to do that. Thank you, Robin, for the call. All right, so coming up next, I didn't realize people were calling in. I had something going on with my screen in front of me. So make sure you call. We have a couple of people on the line, and this show is all about you. Call us, 214-787-1310. Toll free is 877-528-1310 or pound 1310 from your cell phone. 727 Sports Radio 1310 The Ticket. Coming up, the 736 Sports Radio 1310 The Ticket. George D. John, this is the All About You show. There are no topics today. If you've ever heard this show before and you like it and you wanted to ask us questions about any other show in the past, you can ask us now, or something about you or your son or your daughter or your husband or your wife, whatever. Give us a call today, 214-787-1310. Outside of the listening area, 877-528-1310 or pound 1310 on your wireless. Got Dr. Jeremy Webster in the studio, and also who's a chiropractor and a nutritionist, and also Tina Burnett, who's a fantastic trainer. You wanted to comment or elaborate on Robin's condition with the balance?
She mentioned balance when she's pregnant. When you're pregnant, your baby is sucking all the DHA, which is an essential fat, one of the essential fats that you get from fish oil, in fact. You're pulling that all from somewhere, and if you're not consuming enough, it's going to come from mom's brain to create that baby's brain. So part of the brain is the cerebellum, which controls balance and coordination. So I think she needs to be sure she's getting plenty of DHA, get a good, pure quality of fish oil to make sure she's getting plenty of DHA to protect her brain.
And Dr. Webster has that. Let's give your number out right now, 972-735-0707 for Dr. Webster. Tina, how do you want people to get in touch with you?
fitness.tina@gmail.com.
Let's go ahead and go to Paul Davey. Anytime. Paul, you're on the ticket.
Good morning, all.
Hey, Paul.
How you doing?
Good.
My ultimate question is going to be about like the whey protein mixes, and then also the spare tire.
We don't sell spare tire here. We take it away.
Okay, good. I've been about to be 51, going on 21. Been in shape pretty much all my life. But I know everything about working out for the last 5 years. I've been traveling abroad. Anyways, I'm back and I'm trying to lose the weight. I've done very well. Number one, I find myself incredibly gassed. And I've used trainers before, like after half an hour I was gassed, then would recover. But this is like I come home, I lay on the couch, lay in the bed, I'm out. I'm sleeping. So I increased my caloric intake. That's where the whey protein comes in, because I visited my parents, drank one of their Ensures that had protein in it, like 25 milligrams, and it felt great. The second one was the stomach. Now, the results are coming fast, and maybe it's just I have to be patient. What's the best way to get rid of that spare tire?
All right, let's let Dr. Webster in on that first.
Are you still on the line? What
Yeah.
specifically would you like to know about the whey protein?
Well, like I said, I've always, like I said, I've been working on pretty much all my life. I've noted my dad, to say he's a nutritionist would be putting it lightly. It's pretty much you can get all your things that you need for your body from eating properly. Now,
But what do you want to know, Paul? Just to speed it up a little bit, what do you need to know about the whey protein in particular?
Is it good or not? Is it worth it? Because obviously, the cost and then how many servings you get, I think is just kind of a waste.
All right, so let's answer that. We've done that in the past, and I want to do it again because a lot of people aren't clear on it. Go ahead and talk about the raw versus not really fast.
Okay, it shouldn't be pasteurized above 145 degrees. That's the most important thing.
People aren't going to know that. You go in a store, you're buying a protein. What are you looking for?
It's all pasteurized beyond that when you go into a store. As far as if it's worth it, yeah, the amount of protein that you get from that versus the amount of protein that you get from a chicken or a steak, it's far cheaper to go with this type of protein. You're going to get much more protein for the buck doing this. So yes, it's very worth it.
So what Dr. Webster's saying, there's a raw whey protein out there that's actually the best one for you. It's sold on my website, 21daybodymakeover.com. Dr. Webster sells it. It's the best protein on the planet. You can't find one better. And you say, well, George, hold on. I've seen it before. It's almost $70 for this container that lasts for 30 days versus this one I can buy for $35 and it'll last me 2 months. One of the things that he just mentioned was how many servings that you get. Well, with the protein that you find on the shelves, you're often, or if not every single case, you're not going to get the amount of protein absorbed in your body that you need. Plus, it's not going to work. So it doesn't matter how much you're taking in. You're actually wasting money. So let's go ahead and move on. Who do we got? Matt? Let's go to Matt. Matt, you're on the ticket.
Yeah. Thanks again for having me on. Question is I'm 30 years old. I'm go ahead and tell you my occupation. I'm a teaching professional. I teach tennis for a living, and I spend most of my days out on the court teaching lessons. And I've been beaten down, especially with this last summer, out in the sun all day. I get really exhausted.
What's your question, Matt?
The question is, so I went to my doctor with exhaustion and tired all the time. It's really hard for me to work out, so I'm not staying in the good shape that I want to be. And he actually recommended anabolic steroids for me. So
What type of doctor is this?
I'm sorry?
What type of doctor is this?
Just a family doctor.
And did he take your blood?
He did not take my blood.
Fire your doctor.
Fire the doctor.
There's nothing funny about that. Fire your doctor. Any person who's a professional.
I don't know anything about it.
I'm going to send you to. I'm going to direct you in where you need to go. Okay, Matt. We're going to let you hang up and listen because I want everybody to hear this. Okay, this is where George gets pissed off. I don't care who the professional is. I don't care if it's me, Dr. Webster, Tina, a medical doctor. I don't care who it is. If we were to recommend a supplement to you without knowing what you need, barring the whey protein that's raw, everybody can use that. I don't care who you are. If we were to recommend, let's go further. Let's say a drug, without knowing your blood work, without knowing what you need or don't need, then we should never practice in this field again. And if a medical doctor were to tell you that, who he or she knows better than to do that or should know better, or if they don't know what they're talking about when it comes to nutrition, they should not practice medicine. And there's a medical doctor in here with me right now. He's a very good friend of mine, and he would agree with that. He's been on the show before, Dr. Tyvit. Okay? That aggravates me. Doctors don't know medicine. They practice medicine. Okay? Keep that in mind. Let's go to Steve.
I want to make I want to make some points though. let's test this guy's ability to make energy. If he's got a B12 issue, he can't make energy. If he's got an iron issue, he can't make energy. If he's got a whole host of other things, he can't make energy. Let's look at those things. Most of them can be fixed easily. You don't have to jump to an anabolic hormone.
Even if
that
you
is
jump to an
dangerous.
anabolic hormone, you're not necessarily going to have the energy requirements that you want.
Not if it's a B12 issue
Right.
and you use anabolic steroids, it's not going
It's
to
got
fix the
nothing
problem.
to do with it.
It'll just make you worse.
So to get in touch with Dr. Webster, who can help you get out of this in a cheaper way, because vitamin B or B12 is extraordinarily cheap,
Right.
call him, 972-735-0707. There's another thing that we could say, and do this super fast, Tina, about people training a specific way. Sometimes if you train a certain way, you can gain energy.
Well, yeah. I mean, by increasing your metabolism, that's what we talk about, the burst training, whether it's done with weights or body weight or whatever. It increases your metabolism, metabolic rate, and increases energy, strength, all of that. And that's a lot of people go out and they think they want to get more. They go out and run an hour, and instead of, you could do 20 minutes of bursting, and you get it increases your energy, whereas the long distance stuff decreases your energy and kills your adrenals.
Yeah, he probably needs to just heal and rest is what it sounds like to me because he's overdoing it.
And whenever you're
Too
training a
much.
whole lot, whether it's like Dr. Webster just mentioned or Tina, you're actually pulling nutrients from the body. You've got to replace them. So people talk about this goofy Bikram yoga. All it is hot yoga. And don't get on me. I don't get a bunch of email about yoga, Bikram yoga. Why you think it's the end all be all? You have to replace what you're losing, and so you're losing all these minerals. You got to get these
Magnesium.
minerals back. Yeah. So
Magnesium's
start getting.
huge.
Say it again.
Magnesium's huge. with
Magnesium
energy
is
production.
huge. You need
And
all
you're
your
sweating
minerals
that out when,
when
when you're constantly in the yoga or in the sun all summer when it's 109 degrees. You're
Yeah.
losing all your magnesium. You can't make energy without magnesium.
So when you say energy, people often think that they won't have energy to go off the couch. Well, while that is an issue, how about energy just for your organs to run?
Right.
Your organs, they don't need to be taxed and made to work harder. So you need that energy to back in, replace those minerals. Let's do one more. Let's go to Steve real fast, Davey. Steve, real fast, you're on the ticket.
Tina, George, Dr. Webster, quick question about lower back pain. 45, wake up every morning with lower back pain, don't do any real significant workout regimen. Want to know what I could do to get rid of the lower back pain in the morning.
Before we let you go, Steve, you said you don't really do much workout. I'm going to let Tina answer this. Do it, fast if you could.
Well, if you're not working out and you aren't getting the muscles that support and stabilize the axial skeleton, you're going to probably have problems. You could even have a disc issue going on that you don't know about. I mean, there's a lot of things that could be going on. My recommendation would be to start working out, but to get a professional to help you know how to get started. Are you overweight, may I ask?
I was when I drank alcohol, and I've stopped drinking about a year and a half ago, and I've lost 14 pounds.
How much more overweight are you right now, do you think?
I would say about 3 pounds if you look at my belly.
Okay, so there's people we're going to let you go, Steve, and let you listen to this real fast. There's people who also have spasms in their neck, right? You know this, Dr. Webster, probably better than anybody. And those spasms sometimes are due to not working out. The muscles that have to support your head to hold your head up. So people say, well, hold on, I'm in pain, you want me to work out? Well, obviously, past the spasms, past the pain, get that fixed. But then you need to support the structure. You don't support the structure, it starts to talk to you. Remember, we talked about that.
And another situation we need to be concerned with is if he has something wrong with the facets, which is a joint in the low back. If those get stuck, a chiropractic adjustment can fix that real easily. Get it checked out. Come up and see me. We'll see if it's something that a chiropractor can easily fix, or if it's and obviously we need to get him strong and get that core strong, and then the back probably won't be an issue. Or maybe we'll have to send him somewhere else.
And you need strength training, not don't think you need to go start running or something.
That'd make things
that's
worse.
what some people do. I'm gonna get in shape and go run. No.
All right, coming up next, we'll take a couple of calls. We have people on the line, 214-787-1310 or pound 1310 on your cell phone. It's 747, the All About You Show, Sports Radio 1310, The Ticket. 755, Sports Radio 1310, The Ticket. George DeJohn, Train Station Fitness Show on the All About You Show. We're about to wrap this up. Got two more calls on the line. Dr. Webster's in the studio. His contact information is 972-735-0707. Tina is fitness.tina@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. Okay, if you want to get in touch with these two people, go over your fitness program with them or your health with them. They can get more elaborate and not be on a time constraint like we are here. But I'm glad you all called in. By the way, I've been getting a lot of people asking me about my results on GenoStem, the show that we did a while ago, about a month ago, and they've been fantastic. My parents are on it. I love my results. So if you guys are interested in going to that GenoStem and taking it, go ahead and do it. I don't get any money for it whatsoever. So I'm just telling you it's something that worked well for me, and make sure you pass it by Dr. Webster if you want to, or your medical doctor if you want to. It's a peptide. It's just not going to hurt you. But then again, who am I to say? Because I'm not a medical doctor, and I shouldn't give medical advice like doctors should not give nutritional advice. Good segue, isn't it?
Yeah.
So go ahead, the hypo.
Hypothyroid, 90% has one single cause. It's not even hardly tested by any doctors who are testing thyroid, and it's autoimmunity. The treatment typically is the same whether you have autoimmunity or you don't have autoimmunity, because they're not treating the cause at all. They don't want to know about it because there's nothing they're going to do about it. So the bottom line is we can test to see if it's autoimmunity.
What do you mean they're not going to do anything about it? They'll take your thyroid out.
Well, that's if it's a certain type, if it's the hyperthyroid.
Right.
But if it's low thyroid and they find that it's autoimmunity, they're going to basically say, oh, okay, it's that, but they're still going to give you the same treatment, Synthroid.
Hold on one second. We have a doctor in here. Is that what would happen? They would give Synthroid. Okay. So a medical doctor agreed with Dr. Webster. Go ahead.
But we can identify and actually fix the underlying causes of that autoimmunity if we can identify it, as well as about 20 other. I've been studying the thyroid a lot lately, and I've got a running list of about 20 plus things that could cause low thyroid.
Okay.
So we can identify all those.
Let's go to Tom in Flower Mound. Tom, you are on the ticket. Go ahead, Tom.
Hi, I went to the eye doctor about a week ago, and he was checking my eyes, and he said he could see cholesterol deposits in my eyes, and asked if I had high cholesterol. How alarmed should I be? He told me to go to a doctor and check it out.
First of all, I like him. I like that doctor for saying you need to go to a doctor to check that out. Second thing, I would say go to Dr. Webster and check that out. Doc?
Yeah, check it out. Bottom line.
But I mean you.
But if
he goes to a medical doctor, what's going to happen? Really fast, super fast.
He's going to be on statins, and he's going to deplete his CoQ10, and he's going to end up with congestive heart failure.
You're most likely going to be put on statins. You don't know that you will be, but you could be, because that's the protocol a medical doctor knows. Let's go ahead and go. Hey, Dave, let's go ahead and go to Pablo. Pablo's on the ticket. Go ahead.
Hey, quick question, bud. Love your show. Way to keep it real. One question about CrossFit and endurance triathlon training. How much time do you think would cut away from an Ironman training if you started doing some CrossFit exercises?
Actually, I'll let Tina answer it, but I have my answer for it also. Go ahead, Tina.
I think it would be great if you did, because now CrossFit is fantastic. I think the idea is great. I do think that you need to make sure it's. I've heard a lot of people getting injured with CrossFit, but the idea of the strength training and the burst and the strengthening would really help your Ironman. I did triathlons and have many in my family that do them, and I totally believe in doing that strength training and the way that CrossFit does it.
So the routine, basically, Pablo, that you're speaking of, it's not necessarily going to a CrossFit place, but the routine of CrossFit, which Tina knows how to teach, as well as others, and what I did for many, many years with my clients when I trained, is a fantastic routine, especially for enhancing your results of the triathlon, even for a marathoner, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
So, yeah, good job. Go ahead and go for it.
Thanks. All right, man.
Thank you. Closing words. You got 15 seconds. Anything?
No. Break through and get that lactic acid burn. The studies are clear that by doing that, it makes your endurance improve.
Very important, ladies. Say that expand on that real fast, Tina. For ladies, they feel the burn, they want to stop. You got 10 seconds.
No,
do
it's
it.
that's what you want to feel to get the metabolic response. And,
take the sugar out, become a fat burner.
Right. And one thing is when your metabolism goes up, your hunger, your appetite increases. Don't let that freak you out. I think women go from having no appetite to having an appetite, and they freak out. I had someone say that. So know that everything increases with your metabolism.
Thank you. Hey, T-Box is up next. 8 o'clock, Sports Radio, 1310, The Ticket.